Over the course of this season, DeAndre Ayton has been disappointing Lakers fans and analysts across the world. The complaining about lack of touches playing with 3 All-Stars, his role being likened to Clint Capella, it has all resulted in many mistakes and being benched in multiple games. JJ Redick has already been calling him out in interviews, but Ayton was adamant on playing the way he wanted to. But recently, it seemed like something switched in his mind. In the last 5 games since returning from injury, DeAndre Ayton has been averaging 12 points and 10 rebounds, which is about his average, but more importantly, JJ Redick has been trusting him to close games. On March 14th, LA played the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. Prior to this game, they played each other on the 5th, with Ayton never made it past the first quarter. On this play, Luka tried to post up on the baseline, but DeAndre Ayton is in the wrong spot. Instead of going to the middle of the floor, he opts to steal off Najee on the other side. With LeBron standing right behind DeAndre Ayton, Luka had no choice but to pass to one of them, and the ball goes straight out of bounds. Now on defense, Murray lightly screens DeAndre Ayton, but somehow Reeves ends up on Jokic, allowing a wide open 3 for Christian Brown. Again, instead of attacking Jokic, Ayton found Murray a seal. But with Jokic blocking LeBron's view like he did Luka, LeBron elected to shoot a bad pull-up jumper. These last 2 possessions, JJ Redick had enough. First, Luka tried to find DeAndre Ayton in the paint, but he's too deep and it causes a turnover. Then on the other end, he fouled Junior Schroeder for an and-1, and JJ Redick decided to go with Jackson Hayes for the rest of the game. So when they met 9 days later, you wouldn't be wrong to expect a similar result. Except you would be, as 2 minutes in, DeAndre Ayton said a nice screen by Luka Doncic, creating a potential pass or a shot. Luka elected to pass to a rolling Ayton and it ended in a missed lob. The next play, Ayton tells Smart to double Jokic, what looks like a bad decision, but it ended in a Nuggets turnover. Ayton sets another great screen, this time get LeBron downhill on Jokic, which collapses the defense and gets a wide open 3 from Marcus Smart. The main problem Ayton has is his lack of effort, but here Murray gets by Doncic, meaning Ayton has to take that matchup. Murray drives on Ayton but gets cut off and throws up an air ball. This effort allows numbers for LA and Reeves gets an open 3 to take the lead. Now guarding Cam Johnson, Ayton plays good defense, but due to bad games prior, Luka leads Brown to help Ayton, but Marcus Smart was there to save the day. Even with Ayton playing good, Lakers found himself down 2 with 5 seconds left. With Reeves at line to the second free throw, Redick brings in Ayton for additional size. Right before AR shoots, Ayton positions himself to push Jokic underneath the basket and allow Jokic to move first, which means Ayton can use his force easier and the ball ends up back in Reeves' hands. Ayton does a good job keeping Jokic away from Reeves, allowing him to go one-on-one and make a floor to tie the game. Ayton helps contest Murray's half-court heave, sending the game to overtime and earning JJ's trust to begin the game. You can see Ayton's effort throughout OT. He gets switched on to Murray, and even with Murray being ice cold during the entire game, this is still a mismatch. Ayton, however, plays with his best defense all year. He stayed with all of Murray's moves, even when he jumped too early, still got a great contest, which resulted in a missed shot. On the other end, Ayton gets the offensive rebound and immediately goes up and makes the floater. Ayton then gets a chance to guard Nikola Jokic. Here he's guarding the isolation drive, absorbs Jokic's bumps, and forces him to take an off-balance shot. Later, Jokic is back in the middle of the floor. Ayton does a good job not fouling and making him settle for another mid-range. And finally, on the defensive play of the night, Jokic is more aggressive on the drive, but Ayton accepts the challenge and blocks the shot out of bounds. This is the DeAndre Ayton the Lakers signed in the offseason. This will be the last time he showed up, as on March 16th versus the Houston Rockets, DeAndre Ayton will match up against his arch nemesis Clint Capella. Before the fourth, one could argue Capella was outplaying Ayton. Only scored 1 point in 3 quarters. But when the Lakers offense was stalling in the fourth, Coach JJ subbed in Ayton, which was the best thing he could ever have done. First, Ayton finally does the correct seal, getting Shepard onto him and forcing Houston to foul. When Houston got the ball back, K gets a switch on to Ayton, and Luka leaves Thompson a double team. K tries to bounce past to Thompson, but Luka tips it and Ayton gets the steal. With him and Doncic on the break, Ayton runs to the paint and gets Shepard onto him again. And since Luka is driving, Shepard can't leave Ayton, so Smart gets an open 3 but misses and Ayton gets the rebound. He then finds Reeves, who misses the layup, but Ayton gets the offensive rebound and is goaltending on Eason. This game really showed Ayton's defensive versatility. He's guarding Shepard and Smith sets a goal screen and get an open 3, but Ayton recovers and gets a great contest. And here's where Ayton won the game for the Lakers. LeBron drives the ball into a crowd but gets his shot blocked by Jabari. But since the Rockets don't have no Sengun, they ran a semi-small ball with Smith Jr. at the 5, allowing Ayton to rebound with no worry and put the Lakers up 6 with a dunk. And back on offense, Smart demands the ball and throws to Ayton, where he scores a hook shot to extend the Lakers' winning streak to 6. Even though he doesn't have a high motor like Capella, ambition like a Wemby, or pure dominant Shaq had, if he can just show a 4 for each, he can be a serviceable big man that he looked like these last couple of games.